It started with a note. Taped to my front gate. Violation. Fence exceeds HOA height regulations by 12 inches. Remove immediately or face fines. I stared at it, blinking, not because I was surprised. I knew exactly who did it. Karen, HOA board member, self-appointed neighborhood watchdog, and part-time snoop. What she didn't know. That fence, it wasn't just a fence, it was protection, it was peace, and it was legally approved. 2 years ago, I bought this home for my daughter and me. She has sensory processing issues. Loud noises, unexpected visitors, they throw her world into chaos. So, when I moved in, I filed the proper applications, cited the medical reasons. And after 6 months of red tape and legal back and forth, secured a court order. Not just HOA approval, judicial approval. But Karen didn't ask. Karen just decided. The next morning, I watched from my window as she took pictures. Clipboard in hand, smug expression on her face, like she was filming a neighborhood expose. Then came the fine, $250 per day. Backdated to the day the fence went up. I requested a hearing. She scoffed. "You'll never win," she said, lips pursed like she'd sucked on a lemon. "Rules are rules, should have read the bylaws." I smiled. Just a little. I did, so did my attorney. Day of the hearing, I walked in holding a leather folder. Karen was already seated. Flanked by 2 other board members she'd clearly whipped into shape. She launched into a speech about community aesthetics, compliance, and setting a precedent for other troublemakers. Then it was my turn. I opened the folder, pulled out the official stamped court order, passed it to the board. Silence. Karen leaned forward. This can't be real." I pointed to the signature. Judge Rosalind Hayes, District Court. Recognize the name. Karen's face turned the color of her salmon blazer. One of the board members cleared his throat. Why wasn't this submitted to the HOA file? I raised an eyebrow. It was twice, once via email, once hand-delivered, signed for by. He flipped another page. Karen Walker. She snatched the paper from my hand, eyes darting. That's not. I pulled out a photo. Karen holding the envelope, smiling at the camera. "You waved at my Ring doorbell." Dead silence. The board took a recess. 20 minutes. Later, they returned with flushed faces and tight lips. "The fines will be rescinded. The violation erased from record. We apologize for the misunderstanding." Karen didn't look at me. Couldn't. As I left, she mumbled something under her breath. I paused. "You know," I said, turning slightly, "you're lucky I didn't sue for harassment or defamation. But maybe I'm just trying to be neighborly." I walked off calm. Steady. Later that week, I got a knock on the door. A different board member, not Karen, handed me a certificate. Approved exception, permanent, and a note attached. "Thank you for your service." Because I forgot to mention, before any of this, I was a city zoning attorney. I wrote part of the housing code Karen was quoting. Mic dropped.